Hey, welcome to a brand new edition of the Rundown with Ramon. My name is, as you guessed it right, is Ramon Ray, and I'm glad you're here today for an all brand new episode of the Rundown with Ramon. I hope your day is going blessedly well and fantastic. In fact, my day is going, in fact, very, very well. So I'm glad you're here today for a brand new episode of the Rundown with Ramon. All we do is one thing and one thing alone: help you live your best life or start or grow your business, providing you a potpourri dish of eclectic tips and news and insights to help you think better, to help you learn better. So at the end of this show, you're like, that was absolutely interesting. Whether you join me today and you're feeling fantastically great and you're like, yay, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new evening, it's the middle of the afternoon, or you join me today and you weren't feeling so well and you just passed by, scrolled by, and you're like, what is this? I'm glad you're here today on the Rundown with Ramon. We got a lot in store for you today, coming up here today. And before we get to it, let's get ready to start the show now. So we're back. What are we going to cover today? Well, there's an arms race happening looking for the next $1 million protein bar. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I got somebody I want to show you today who's going to touch on that very topic. Acclaimed, celebrated, well-known producer, actress, and more, director and entrepreneur Issa Rae talked to Business Insider about some of her playbooks for success. And I wanted to touch on that with you today. Inside the nasty rivalry rocking the world of private jets. I mean, who would have thought that private jets would have been in rivalry where they are? And that's a lesson for many of us small business owners. Many small business owners lack succession plans, says Scotiabank, and that is un problemo. Time Magazine asked the question, why do some people need more sleep than others? Well, I don't know. Wanted to go back to something that Amazon reported on earlier in the year. 10 things to know about Amazon's 2023 Small Business Empowerment Report, where they took last year's numbers and showed us some interesting stats. And last but not least, we'll try to get to this, who still owns a landline phone and what the data about owning a landline phone will show you. Karen, good day to you. Glad you're here today. So let's get with it right now and start with it. If you didn't know, now you know there's an arms race for the next $1 million protein bar, reports information, theinformation.com. It says here, the macro of the moment is protein. And it's not much of a competition. Everyone is paying attention to their protein intake for one reason or another. The longevity movement practitioners are focusing on it for strength training. Anyone on a GLP-1, not sure what that is, has likely gotten a doctor's lecture on getting the right amount of protein. And then there are the ongoing debates about how much they need. So the bottom line, previously there was a gentleman, Peter Rahal. He previously founded RX Bar, an OG protein bar, stay with me, in 2013, and then sold it to Kellogg's for $600 million. So the bottom line here is, one, the message for entrepreneurs: there's opportunity in a lot of things that we can and cannot do. Kimberly Wyckoff, good day to you. Glad you're here. There's opportunity abound. Two, as my mentor Lamar Tyler told me, and he got this from Beyonce Knowles' father, it's often more difficult to ask for a smaller amount of money than it is to ask for a larger amount of money. So these are some things when I saw this headline here, $1 million protein bar, and then I'm asking myself this: what does that really mean? What does that look like? Well, I have somebody here who's going to help us understand, and she's from Triple Bar, who's going to dive into this just a bit more and introduce her to you, this aspect of those who are in this race for more protein, more types of food, healthier or different food. Let's check this out.
Hi, I'm Maria Cho. I'm the CEO of Triple Bar, and my whole career I've been working in the space of making products for humanity using biotech and biology. And what I had seen kind of both in the pharmaceutical space and in the kind of nutrition space was over and over again, great products not being able to be made because the technology wasn't good enough or the costs were too high. So I met Jeremy Agresti, who's our founder and CTO here at Triple Bar, and he was working on a tool that increases the ability for us to test R&D, so the test throughput, orders of magnitude more than the industry state of the art. And so I knew that this is where I wanted to be, to allow really great products to get to market using biotechnology, and Triple Bar being the critical innovation that would unlock the ability to do that. Yeah, so the food system in particular is adapting and incorporating technologies, which I'm calling complementary proteins. Some people have called them alternative proteins. But these are kind of sources of nutrition that are really critical for humanity to be able to be sustained. And, we eat differently than our grandparents ate, than our parents ate, and the future generations will eat differently than we do today. And so by leveraging biotechnology, we can make food ingredients like those found in nature using biotech.
I wanted to pause that right there. I worked at the United Nations where we talked about how different manufacturers and others were working to introduce different types. It's not different types of food, and this is way above my pay grade, and our guest here is talking about it quite well. But the point being is that if technology innovates, if our cars innovate, if our cups innovate, if our clothing innovates, if we're innovating how we do sports, why shouldn't our food have the opportunity to innovate, to maybe last longer, to be better, maybe the wrong word, but to help serve us in different ways? So that's why I'm always open to, when I hear science in food, I'm like, you know what? Let's see how this is. Let's see how this can help us, as Triple Bar is trying to do. Keep listening here for 1 second. Hope you're learning and being educated on the rundown with Ramon. Let's go.
Where AI can be an incredibly powerful tool is that it can be leveraged in this process across R&D cycles, supply chain, key innovations. And Triple Bar is actually uniquely positioned to leverage AI at the genome scale. So this is the directions for life as we know it. And so we're developing a disruptive generative AI model as an expansion of the work that we're already doing to take advantage of all of the existing data that we have and train that model. So we're creating the Chat GPT moment of biotech. We all remember the first time that we used Chat GPT 4 and, having a conversation with it, it can pass the bar exam, right? I mean, this is a next level ability that's been created. And so what we're going to enable here at Triple Bar is a disruptive model that will allow us to, basically write the directions for life. We'll be able to use it as an oracle plugin. I would like to make this product in this way or using this biotech tool, and the algorithm will spit back, here is the answer on how to do that. And
So what's interesting about this for me is that, you think of a small business owner, and of course, at this level, it's not small business owners, just a few $1,000,000. These are larger companies, are growing into larger companies. But what's interesting, we see AI, we read about AI, we think we just upload a PDF and there it goes. But Triple Bar is showing us, and other companies like this, that this is the power of the future of technology. Yes, for some, it can be scary. Should there be guardrails? Should there be rules in place? Absolutely. With any innovation, there's always going to be that delta, that period of time, a little bit of fear, a little bit of scaredness, right? However, let's look also at the positivity of it. The positivity of it. What does this mean for our businesses? What does this mean for our lives? How can technology be used for good? This is one thing that's important to me. So let's keep listening.
This is truly going to be game changing in how we approach tools in biology really to the next level and to the next generation. Yeah, so Triple Bar is incredibly unique, is that we're the kind of next generation of a space called synthetic biology, or SynBio. We've rapidly innovated the kind of rusty toolboxes that scientists have had to leverage, and we've made progress. Don't get me wrong, in the industry, but we're uniquely positioned because we can rapidly increase that progress and really get us to the outcomes that we need to, like feeding the world by 2050. We can't continue to sustain what we have without innovating in particular areas. And so we're uniquely positioned to do that here at Triple Bar.
I love what Maria said about feeding the world by 2050. Again, if that goal is attainable, if it's a little longer, if it comes sooner, I don't know. But again, going back to my work at the United Nations, one of the big struggles the United Nations had when talking about global issues besides peace and war and safety was water. People don't have access to clean water or enough of the water. Number two, feeding the world. And in the developed country, here I am in the United States or in Western Europe, Eastern Europe, countries like that. But there's many parts of the world where food security is a big, big issue. How do you feed a global population? How do you do that? So again, what Maria is talking about here is exciting to me. And again, this is the whole purpose of the Rundown with Ramon, to give you tips, give you insights, open your mind, to have you think, that's interesting. So let's keep listening to a bit more about Maria Cho from Triple Bar. Here we go.
Yeah, I think culture is one of the key facets of how an organization can do great things together. We have key values that everyone implements and uses every day, kind of a very high culture of ownership. So everyone owns the outcome. Everyone works together to do that. We live our values. We're one team, so we're all part of delivering the outcome. We're all part of working together. We have a couple of other values like transparency. My team will say, you're the most transparent CEO, because they want to understand how the work that they do on an individual level and on a team level impacts the outcomes that we'll make for humanity. We also continuously improve all the time. So we're always learning. We're always saying, what could I do better? Or how did this thing that I did work, and how can we implement that across the organization?
And did you like that? Always asking, what can I do better? And I think this is important at the end of the day, whether a very small business or a growing business, asking yourself, how can you do better? How can I innovate? Again, we're talking to Maria Cho here of Triple Bar. She's talking about building a synthetic and a different type of bar and foods and science in it and things of this nature. So we're learning about that. But that caught me that our company also is building a company with a great culture, something I need to do on a daily basis, on an ongoing basis. And hey, Courtney, glad you joined us. Hey, Kimberly, glad you joined us. Hey, Karen and others who are popping in here, glad you all are joining. Let's keep hearing a few more minutes of this discussion with Maria Cho from Triple Bar.
And so snacks help too. I feel that everyone should feed their people, give them snacks. They work more, they're more productive. So we have a good food culture as well. So, but it's a great team. It's a great place to be. Check us out on our website. We also have a chief snuggle officer. She's our office pup, and makes everyone happy throughout the day. Yeah, I mean, how can more women get involved in AI? I mean, we're at a precipice right now in humanity where AI is being integrated across so many different industries, really as a tool to support, us getting to better outcomes throughout various things. And I think AI in biology, AI in technology, allows us to basically have the knowledge that we know, be leveraged so that humans plus AI can make better advancements. And women in STEM, we say, right, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Women play a key foundational role in the way they approach development, and the way I guess my team, we're 67% women at Triple Bar, and very proud of that outcome. I would just encourage folks, embrace the technologies, use them for the things that are good. AI is going to be, and generative AI across industries are going to be what really helps us take humanity to the next level.
I love that. I love that. I love it. That was Maria Cho from Triple Bar. I hope you enjoyed that discussion. She talked about women in AI. She talked about always innovating, and bottom line, how Triple Bar is building the next synthetically made food source so we can feed the world. Again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. Deborah, glad you joined us today. We got a lot more in the show as we keep going on. We talked about, and this was started by talking about, there's an arms race from theinformation.com. Talk about this. I want to shift gears right now and bring up one more discussion point, and that's with Issa Rae. Issa Rae interviewed with Business Insider, and she said two things that I thought were very important. Issa Rae is the producer, director, movie mogul, many shows on HBO, I believe it is, and other places, and she talked about things that are very important to her, and I wanted to do this, wanted to unpack her input. One, Issa Rae credits this one skill to her success. The 39-year-old writer said waking up at 4 a.m. is her cheat code. She may not do it every single day, she says, but she found out Rae also noted she didn't have any other time that was her own. So now it's become the only part of my day that I could fully control. She uses it to work out, which she considers her own form of active meditation in her garage gym, and she then journals. So Issa Rae says her one key of success is waking up early in the morning. The actor says a creative's first hire should be a TV producer. When you look at a successful actor, there are so many people standing behind, beside, and in front of them who make their achievements possible. Ray said when building her team, her first hire was her most essential, and that's her TV producer. Other tips Issa Rae talks about: I love insight from people who've done it, people been in the streets and building businesses. Ray's biggest red flag when it comes to participating in collaborations is based in honesty. Even though Ray has signed on to many collaborations and partnerships, she's also learned when to say no. When they're just solely driven by money, and if I feel like I can't be fully honest in the criticism aspect and they can't be honest with me, I'm like, oh, this won't work. I need to know you think my ideas suck, and I need to be able to tell you your ideas suck. So that's a red flag when Issa Rae wants to work other people. Next up, the actor broke down her formula for peak creativity. Having created so many shows that have gained cult-like audiences, from Insecure to The Sweet Life and more, Ray seems to know what audiences want to see on the small screen. So she's been tightly lipped about future things, but she said, I can't fully dream in my home. I always have to leave, and sometimes I will. It really is just a logistical thing, the formula for creativity. So listen, my name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. Get the tips from Issa Rae, talking about waking up early in the morning, talking about being sure she works with people who can be honest with her, talking about for creatives, her first hire is a TV producer. This is the importance. You're talking about somebody who's been there and done that, who didn't come from success, but somebody who had to work hard. This is absolutely important. Going on in The Rundown with Ramon, Gina Carr is joining today. Made my day, Gina Carr. Welcome to The Rundown with Ramon. Hope you're enjoying this, and I'm glad you're here. This caught my eye. Headline here: inside the nasty rivalry rocking the world of private jets. Who would have thought that in the world of private jets, where there's these billionaires games, where you have John Matthews, who's the founder of the private jet charter company AirX, and then you have a much larger rival called VistaJet. These guys are slogging mud back and forth. This just wasn't a rivalry between competitors, but Matthews had been obsessed with Thomas Floor, VistaJet's founder, for about a decade. Wow, wow, wow. Matthews and his AirX employees have been emailing at times anonymously with VistaJet suppliers, bondholders, rating firms, and journalists to cause issues. So why are they doing this? I don't know. Oftentimes it goes between pride. Oftentimes it goes between trying to take the other one down. I don't know why it is, and it doesn't really matter. But they all have A-list clienteles, talking about the journey of these two big billion-dollar companies and brands in the private jet industry. But there's issues with them. So the fight escalates. It says here the company has since switched auditors to PricewaterhouseCoopers, because last year wrote an audit of VistaJet that a material uncertainty exists that may cast doubt upon the group's ability to continue. So there were some issues here when they were audited. And so the mudslinging went back and forth. But here's my question for you. When you have issues with a competitor, how do you spend your time, Gina Carr? How do you spend your time, Deborah? How do you spend your time, Courtney? Do you spend your time mudslinging back and forth? And I guess some people have that kind of attitude at the executive level where they want to rumble and tussle in the streets. Or do you relatively ignore them and move forward and build your company? I don't know what I would do, because I've never been in that situation. I've only done publishing companies, Zone of Genius, Smart Hustle, Small Biz Technology events, and I've never had issues like that. But I wonder what I would do if it got personal and got a bit nasty. Would I retaliate like that? Oh, I hope I wouldn't. So I'm going to dive into that a bit more, the world of private jets, and see how that might or may not be. But I think it's interesting. So let's see how that works. Again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon, where we bring you a potpourri dish of eclectic news, tips, and information and insights to help you live your best life, or start or grow your business. So the world of private jets, you got these two owners here throwing mud back and forth. Good lesson learned. Be careful how you do that. We know executives and leaders who play that game and get a bit personal, but I think in the end, it's not good for anybody, and it's better to go high when they go low. Let's go. Let's go. Gina Carr says she'd probably ignore them. But you notice Gina said probably. And I know Gina probably would ignore them like I would too, depending on how personal and deep it got. But I hope it didn't get to that level for me. Thanks, Gina Carr, for weighing in. Appreciate you so much. Moving on here. Ding, 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 ding. Many small business owners lack succession plans, says Scotia Bank. Close to half of all Canadian small business owners plan to sell or otherwise exit their ventures in the next decade. And a substantial number of those are not very prepared, according to a Scotia Bank survey released this morning. The bank survey found 48% of small business owners plan to sell their companies within the next decade, and 45% of those surveyed plan to sell. Of those who plan to exit their businesses within the next 6 years, 43% were not well prepared. Listen, my friend John Warlow, if you're looking for a great book, look for a book by John Warlow. And if you're hearing my sound of my voice, please tag him on LinkedIn. Let him know John Warlow, Ramon's talking about you. He has several books all about exiting, all about plans, all about systems, and he happens to be based in Canada. So my admonition to you, especially when you're younger, you don't think about what's the exit, what you're going to do. But as you get older, I'm over 50 years old. Over 50 years old am I. And you need to think about what's next, what happens. And when you're thinking about what's next and what's happening, you need to plan for it. Success doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen by accident. And I love what Deborah's saying here. I don't have time to mudslinging. And I've had the opportunity to do just that. I've kept my eyes on the prize and I've never regretted it. You're right. As we're building our brands, building our companies, who has time to get down in the mud and get all nasty when you could be serving customers, building your brand, building generational legacy, and etc. That's exactly right, Deborah Williams. Thanks for adding here. And I like that you said you had the opportunity to do it, but you didn't take the bait. Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, and I'm so glad you're here today. All we do is one thing and one thing alone, help you live your best life or start or grow your business with the eclectic tips and more we provide to you day in and day out. Ding, 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 ding. Another thing I want to bring up here. Why do some people need more sleep than others? Time magazine, or time.com rather, talks about this. Our sleep needs change over the course of our lifetimes, from 17 hours a day for a newborn to up to 12 hours today as a school kid, and to 7 to 9 benchmark for adults. Your gender does matter depending on the type of sleep you get, says one study, that ladies require more, but only a tiny bit more sleep, about an extra 11 minutes a night of sleep than guys. The research cited a range of factors that might explain the small gap. So there's that. The American Sleep Foundation reports additional possible explanations, including menstruation, menopause, and pregnancy, and other things of this nature. When you have the kids and you're always dealing with them, that can affect your sleep. Then there's insomnia bringing in, which affects sleep for some. So the point here is talking about why some people need more sleep than others. The role of sleep apnea. Next to insomnia, sleep apnea, or the period of cessation of breathing during sleep, leading to micro awakenings or full awakenings throughout the night, is the most common sleep disorder. So listen, we all need sleep, but according to what I'm reading here, we all need different types of sleep. There's genes which play a role in our sleep. My wife is a night owl. She comes alive at night. At night, I'm like, no bueno, good night world. But what about you? What kind of person are you? Do you sleep easily? Now me, I do sleep easily. When I go on a plane, boom, I'm out like that. But I'm not a night owl. And I love waking up early in the morning. That's how my body type is, for a variety of reasons that we just talked about. Could be my genes, could be how my body's wired. So next time you can't sleep, or next time you are sleeping well, either be grateful and or see what solutions you can have to have a better sleep. Next up, I want to leave time to touch on this. Amazon talked about some things from their 2023 Small Business Empowerment Report, where they put together an eclectic mix of numbers and things from their thousands and thousands of independent resellers or independent sellers. More than 10,000 independent sellers surpassed 1 million in sales in Amazon store in 2023 for the first time. This is very interesting. These are sellers who have products or services and leverage Amazon to ship them and get them around the country. So congratulations, more than 10,000 independent sellers surpassed 1 million in sales for the first time. That's huge. There's 10,000 small business owners making over $1 million. Next up, hundreds of millions of customers purchase from the small and medium-sized businesses selling in Amazon's store. Over 330 million items were exported by U.S.-based sellers to customers in over 130 countries globally. Over 330 million items. Independent sellers in Amazon store employed more than 1.8 million people. That's interesting right there. More than 100,000 independent sellers have used one or more of Amazon's generative AI listing tools. That's powerful. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I should have thought about it right there. Brand owners grew sales more than 20%, 22% year over year. Sellers in California supported the most jobs for the Amazon-related business. Independent sellers in rural areas grew sales by more than 60%. These are just stats, but why it excites me, why it's so interesting, is that it shows that you can make money from so many different locations, whether you're selling e-commerce, selling in a retail store, where you're serving people through private jets, whether you're doing synthetically generated food. There's many ways for you to make money. You just have to want to get it done and do it. Again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, coming towards the tail end of our discussion. Wanted to bring up one more thing for you today. Who still owns a landline phone? Reports USA Today. It'll surprise you what the deal is and what it means to you. This is one finding from a surprisingly deep trove of research on the demographics of a vanishing breed of landline phone lovers. And here's what the data suggests. They're more likely to live in the Northeast. They're less likely to smoke and less fond of binge drinking. They're more likely to wear seatbelts, to exercise, and to carry health insurance. Well, I don't know. Guess what? I own a landline phone. The profile comes from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. For the past 2 decades, the federal agency has been studying the traits of Americans who hold on to landlines. But fewer than 1/4 of Americans still do have landlines. So I don't know. I think that was a fun tidbit to understand. Deborah owns a landline. It is what it is. Some of us find it hard to give it up. Listen, everybody. My name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. All I ask is one thing and one thing alone. I want you to go forth and live your best life. Let somebody know today that they matter. Let somebody know today that you care. Let somebody know today that they can do it. Encourage somebody else to go forward. Encourage somebody else to go on. Once again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. Thank you, Karen, for being here today. I appreciate it very much. And I will see you on the next edition of the Rundown with Ramon. Be blessed and have an amazing day.